right? When you elevate or when you grow, you have to basically break your business again and reform it. And same thing as a person, when you go through these personal and professional events in your life, you got to break down and build yourself back up. And the mindset that gets you to 6 figures and the mindset that gets you to 7.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sehgal show, where we interview some unstoppable entrepreneurs who are dominating figures in their businesses. Sahil here, back again with an awesome, insane guest today. Our today's guest is an economist turned environmentalist turned tech startup founder. She helps people build their network using Pick My Brain. As the CEO of Pick My Brain, her main role is to help find, recruit, empower, and encourage the world's most interesting people to share most of what they know and love with others through a combination of free or paid events like conversations, private sessions, coaching, courses, workshop, masterclasses, programs, speaking, and whatnot. Her mission is to onboard the world's brains to make sure that they are making them sure that they are doing more creatively and intimately available, accessible, and useful to all of us, people like us. So, without any further ado, let's welcome Maxine Cunningham to our show today. Welcome, Maxine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and honor to have you today.
Pleasure and honor to be here.
Absolutely. Before we start, as I was saying on the backstage as well, you are doing an incredible job and happy to see that you are doing in Canada. So that's more even feeling. I always felt like, I don't know, that's a community of entrepreneurs or high level entrepreneurs is missing out in Canada somewhere. It's in there,
Yeah,
but very less
yeah,
places. I'm glad
I
to see
agree.
what you are doing. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to come together. Well, I noticed you even used Pick My Brain in your opening. I was like, oh, there it
Yes.
is.
Absolutely. We're going to be
Yeah.
diving deep into that concept. So before that, I want to start with your backstory. So how did you start it? When were you bitten by this entrepreneurial bug?
Yeah, I think I've always been bitten by it. I have two entrepreneurial parents, and solving problems is just like a really fun thing for me to do. But how I got bit by Pick My Brain, the startup bug of like transitioning to build a platform was really like a deep desire to be able to access people's knowledge intimately. I got this idea of like, I learned so much when I talk to people, but I can't talk to as many people as I want when I want.
Mm,
And I could change my life. A conversation can change my life. And I've noticed that a number of times it has. It's adjusted the path. It's introduced me to a new person. It's opened up a new idea that completely changed how I do things for forever going forward. And I just, as I'm an economist by trade, and I value things like economically all the time. And I just was like, wow, the value of a conversation is so large, and it returns year after year and kind of compounds. And so because I was craving that and it didn't exist, I couldn't quite get it. I started to think about building it, and at the same time, I was watching my mom retire, someone who has a lot of knowledge to offer, not know how to share what she lived through and experienced and succeeded at with anyone. She didn't know how to pass her knowledge back down. And I thought,
mm,
that's weird. Like, what's the point of accumulating all this lived experience um, to not deliver it back? Like, it seems like the
mm,
feedback loop is broken. And I feel like in the economy, it's broken at a few key points that you just need to close that loop, allow people to pass their knowledge back down, allow people to learn from people through new mediums. Just like we need to build products that are thought about when we build the product, how they're going to be recycled back into the economy, right? We just build
mm,
and then we garbage and we build and we garbage, but it actually could be a circular
mm.
feedback loop, which is more efficient. Same thing with knowledge, I feel.
Yeah, that's on point. Glad you did that. Actually, you started this and didn't let it waste. So, do you feel like your skills of being an economist help you in your current venture?
1,000%. And for as from an economist, what an economist does is that they use price as a proxy to influence behavior. So how can we use price to influence the masses towards what is good for society, because
Mm,
price is ubiquitous? We could use language, we could use education, but economists typically lean on price, right? If we increase the price of gas, this is how the economy will respond. This is how it will trickle through. If we put a tax on smoking, this is how the reduction in smoking will happen. Because if we collectively want to be healthier as
mm,
society, we need to change the behavior to help people do that. So using price as a mechanism and being trained to think about how to use price to influence people's decisions definitely plays into Pick My Brain, because we're trying to monetize knowledge and gift it and put a value on it so it can be bought and sold and exchanged. So as an economist, what is the value of a conversation? How do I monetize the unquantifiable? How do I start what is the value of a conversation? So in that aspect, 100%. And then the second component of economics is, how do you distribute resources in an equitable, powerful way? How do you take a bunch of knowledge and then distribute it to the people that it can change that person's life and that trajectory? How do you allocate resources to the people who need it to complete, again, the goal at the end? So I think it's entirely linked. I think if I wasn't an economist, I wouldn't have thought about this idea. And I think as an economist that went through a traditional schooling where we built these economic models based on a scarcity model and we didn't price things, there's a lot of innovation to happen on the economics side as well, that I think Pick My Brain is pushing and influencing that thought leadership. So yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Glad you touched base on that. The resources thing. I recently I had a conversation with my team even, and some of my clients. I was like, we transitioned from multiple six figures to seven figure. And I'm like, now the things cannot be same. We have to allocate our resources way much more different than how it was to do it at six figure or multiple six figure. It's a completely
So
different
true.
way. Yeah.
Completely different. And I think that's what, and the confidence that you need and the clarity and communication that is required, all of it is, this leveling and restructuring. And what hurts us, I think, in society is we don't evolve the model with the times fast enough, right? The model is like 40 years behind, and you're like, it's time to redo the model, because we're at a higher consciousness in society, because COVID happened, because we know how to work from home, because we're in an environmental minefield. We need to adjust the model. But it's very hard to do that. You know how hard it is to do that in your own little business world, and what is required collectively and collaboratively. It's very difficult.
I can understand that. The
Yeah.
follow-up question coming in my mind is like, did you build out any framework around that? How to rebuild the stuff or how to allocate your resources better?
Yeah, definitely. So with Pick My Brain, again, we started by validating this concept that people will both invest in knowledge with other people. They'll buy conversations and sell it by working with people individually. Probably like you did, you helped your first person make their six figure.
Yeah.
We helped our first person figure out how to sell knowledge. Then we helped our second person how to do that. Then we helped our 100th person how to do that. Then we built a platform that could help hundreds of thousands of people do that. And now we're starting to be like, oh, we can build knowledge marketplaces for other communities, companies, or organizations. So that's an elevation in thought too. If Pick My Brain can help people buy and sell knowledge, can we partner with a university and teach them how to tap their alumni to get that knowledge and redistribute it back to students and profs? Because that's missing. Now we can apply our concept and go over here to a group that has 100,000 users.
Right.
I'm like, would you like us to unlock what we did over here for you? So that's an elevation in thought. So yeah, I think business is like the most intense journey of regular insights that require, just so much freedom and flexibility, but definitely have, and I'm sure will continue, to evolve. Yeah.
Absolutely right on. Love that part how you thought about that marketplaces. It's like more of you're getting one place, you're getting all the different kinds of things, alumni and the university. It can work in so many different niches, I think. Then it's like
So
you go to Amazon to buy anything. It's like kind of that.
honestly, that's it. To scale as a business mind. Yeah, think of how knowledge marketplaces as a service. Anyone who has a community of like 100 to 100,000 people could use a dynamic directory and unlock conversations and commerce among their members. And this is what fits. Like, this is the missing link, I think, in all of us learning how to do that. Why are we not asking alumni to gift 10 hours and give it back to students? And why are we not requiring students in school to go have conversations with alumni, or allow professors to bring us into the classroom? Why is that? That's a no-brainer. That is so much unlocking right there. And it's one tool to do it, a marketplace, buyers and sellers, with the goal of increasing knowledge, which I love. So I'm like, I don't want to sell products anymore because I'm an environmental economist. And I'm like, no, we have to stop buying stuff. We need to start buying knowledge. And then all my drive is like, how do I maximize knowledge exchange, which I love. I'll work on that forever. I'm like, how can I get people to learn more faster? Yeah.
True, so true. It can save a lot of time with other people like alumni you were talking about. It's exactly, you can save what it took me. I graduated from University of Windsor, so it's like I can save someone's 5 years condensed into maybe 1 year, or maybe it's a coaching indirectly you are doing, or mentorship. That's what is not being taught in the universities or schools.
100%. And like, think of the economic value of saving someone a year.
Right.
That's nuts.
Priceless.
Like and a year is easy. And you and I both know now that we've graduated. Like I graduated from Queens in Ontario 10 plus
Wow.
years ago. Man, the conversations that we know that we could have had to help us figure out who we were and our place in society, and a few rules and validation along the way. Yeah, years of not only time, but like emotional,
Right.
so much. So yeah, what is that worth? And that is the only, okay, so for the first time in history, technology has now changed faster than people can keep up with, right? AI has
Right.
just altered that. We're on the next level.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to allow us to keep up with it as human is this mass collaboration. Is speeding your learning up with one conversation. If I can learn what you do in your mission and hook you up to one client that 10x's your company, that's doable. That might exist between us. The only way you and I know that is if we sit down, which we're going to do because we're aligned in future of work and mentorship and coaching. So we might as well talk. And what Pick My Brains engine is like, if you have that mission and I have that mission, we should talk. And the system should let us know that we should talk, because I might be able to 10x your business. You might be able to 10x my business, or together we might just be able to 10x our mindset, or a million of other things. Who knows, right? We'll find out. But like, society is not, why aren't I getting a text message with all the people on the same mission as me? Pick My Brain should send me all the people that are working on the same thing as me. And be like, go talk to them, because then you do less work and you do more good and you're more collaborative, and you don't have to like put a whole bunch of gas in the machine. There's a feedback loop. You actually don't have to work as hard as we thought. With non-renewable resources, you do it over again. But with partnership, collaboration, reoccurring, it's actually not that hard.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you were talking all of that about one word coming into my mind, I was like, you are just one conversation away taking that Russell concept.
That's it. That's it, honestly. And I'm launching this program in 2024 that I'm really excited about, called Meet the World's People. And it's like Audible, where you subscribe and you for a certain amount of month, and you get a credit, and you go use that credit to have a conversation. And maybe, right, and you just use, right, just like books, you're like, oh, I read Good to Great yesterday, or someone recommends you go use your credit and get a book. This one, you use your credit and you go meet someone and you learn about them, and you're one conversation from understanding a new perspective, increasing your empathy, your understanding of yourself and others, knowing someone exists, or so, right? So I think we just need to actually buy and subscribe to something that feeds us.
Right.
What we know. I love it. That should be the tagline. I'm going to take that. You're one conversation away.
Check the domain if it's possible, if it's available. That's a good one.
That's a good one. I got to put that in my notes.
That's good. So when you were starting this, so it's like you created your own marketplace, which was not there. You obviously took some inspiration from some other business models, and you did it. What were the biggest challenges that I'm trying to imagine that? I've never done a startup, but what were the biggest challenges that you faced to do this, set up your own marketplace?
Yeah, unlimited amounts. They say a marketplace is the hardest form of a startup to create ever, because not only do you have to go create supply, then you have to go get demand, then you have to make sure they're balanced forever. So it's like 4x the work to do a marketplace than a traditional tool. So I don't know. I always pick the hardest thing. I don't know why. So just that, right? And it's a new idea, and it's a new category, knowledge commerce. We think knowledge commerce is the new e-commerce, right? And so in order to become the new e-commerce, we think knowledge has to be as easy to buy, sell, and exchange as e-commerce. Transferring that idea was difficult, because knowledge commerce isn't as, we're not as comfortable buying knowledge as we are to buy products we can touch.
Right.
So that was a shift. Um, as a marketplace, like I said, you got to go get one side of the market first. So for us, that was supply. We got to go teach people how to sell their knowledge and build these offers and then bring the demand.
Mhm.
Um, and we didn't even know we were a marketplace at first. First, we were just a tool that made it really easy to package and price. But then when we realized, like, we're like, oh, everyone in the whole world could probably be available for 30-minute sessions, 60-minute sessions, a VIP day if they want. Like these standardizations started to become clear. And we're like, whoa, we can build like an Amazon size knowledge marketplace by doing this. So then that was a challenge. And then technologically, I'm an economist, building a platform that can connect any two people in the world seamlessly and transfer money or reviews or time and get them set up. That's a technical challenge. But I knew that Airbnb could do it. Airbnb was one of my biggest inspirations. They pushed me to actually quit my job because I was like, Airbnb is going to unlock more environmental benefit than any policy I am working on by
Mm.
simply unlocking a shared asset and creating a marketplace, something that already exists. And
Right.
I was just hooked. I was like, this is bananas. Like everyone should just be focused on marketplaces can do so much. So I knew that Airbnb could do it, that I knew technologically it was possible. So
Mm.
then communicating to my developers, listen, on Airbnb, you can browse people from all around the world, book them, and feel comfortable enough to stay in someone's home. On Pick My Brain, you should be able to go to this website and find whoever, all of these people, and be able to book them and feel comfortable to exchange knowledge right away and know the terms.
Right.
So it's
Ah,
like that's what inspiration does for you. Like it's possible. Like what Elon Musk is doing by going to Mars and being like is putting the idea in our head that that might be possible. It's not the best idea. Well, whatever you think,
right.
but it's like we can think about it.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
so
That's a
yeah, lots of challenges. Raising money is a challenge. Then you have to
biggest one.
yeah, such a challenge, but honestly, also easy to tap. How many of us, you're at six figures, seven-figure business? I get most of my checks from entrepreneurs for 25K
Mhm.
who might want to put their money in a fast growing idea that's connected to what they do.
Right.
So yeah, just thinking about again how you raise from whom, what is the most value. So yes, challenge, and then you adjust and you figure out how to do it.
Right.
Um, but doing it all together is the hard part.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the people who don't know about this Pick My Brain, what is that someone can get benefited the most, you say, using Pick My Brain?
Mm.
How would you say one, two, three things if you want to put it together?
Number one, Pick My Brain makes you think about who you are and how you want to be of service to the world. And I think um, reflecting about that question is so important.
Mhm.
So building a Pick My Brain profile will force you to think about how you might want to share your knowledge. And I think that should be the purpose of everyone is to eventually pass down your knowledge. How do you want to do it? So number one, that shift of thinking of that. And number two, access to unlimited perspectives, countries, industries, generations, mindsets that I believe in this future that we're stepping into is essential to tap into. And it's actually really hard to access diversity and
Mhm.
different people. Right? If you're reaching out to someone that's above you, that's hard. If you're reaching to someone from a different country, that's hard. They say diversity is so important, but it is actually really difficult to access. Well,
Right.
on Pick My Brain, you have thousands of people, from all these countries who opted in to be like, let's have a conversation.
Right.
And then when you're part of that, you get invited to these events that help introduce you to new people. And so if you're looking for expansion personally, professionally, emotionally, spiritually, our network is like one of the only ones I know that is that diverse. Usually people pick a
Mhm.
lane, like we do marketing. I'm like, well, we have, yeah, we have brains from we have so many brains from all these different backgrounds, and that is the strength.
Oh,
That
and
wasn't
yeah, I
one
saw that.
thing. Yeah.
What's that?
I said I didn't nail it down to one thing, but
Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah.
Well, that's good actually. I saw that. I visited your website. I'm gonna drop that link as well in that. And there are a lot of, yeah. I saw, I think, coaches. I saw social media managers. I saw lead generation expert. Some people mindset niches they have. A lot of them. And I'm like, wow, that's a place where entrepreneurs have to be or should be. Actually, I feel a lot. Like here, especially as compared to US, I feel like why I'm alone here. Why? Because most of the time your family don't understand what you're doing and all. You need someone who you can talk and understand, speak the same language. You just don't want to hang out on people talking only about Netflix or other stuff. And then you're like, what am I doing here?
So true. I love that you said that because why are we alone in doing it? And that's like the very North American model. It's like we have to do our own SEO, our own marketing, our own website, our own lead
Right.
gen, our own reviews. Like, I'm like, why do we work that hard?
Mm,
Why can't we have a place where we all shop each other?
that's right.
And yeah, like, how do I find the people that speak the same language as me? That is like the quest of life. So you can keep going further. And entrepreneurship is especially lonely. But yeah, like it is so helpful to be, I know our conversation will go really fast because of what we've already lived through, you know?
Exactly.
Um, and that's value. So I just
Right.
want more of those. And if Pick My Brain can send me more of those, man, I'm in.
That's right.
Yeah.
I saw there is no even age limit. I don't know. I was watching a YouTube video. There was a 5 years young girl who was a
Oh,
member of Pick My Brain. Really?
that's awesome. I love that you found that. I'm just working on that, showing off what happens. Okay, so a mom from Ontario, she has this young 5-year-old daughter who wants to be an entrepreneur and a startup founder when she grows up already. And
Oh
she's like,
wow.
how do I inspire my girl? And she
Yeah.
found Pick My Brain, found me, and booked a session. I get this message like saying, hi, I have a 5-year-old daughter. This is what she's into. She would absolutely love to talk to you. Would you be open? I was like, are you kidding? Like I don't think, I hope that 90% of humans would say yes to that request.
Of course.
And yeah, hopped on a Pick My Brain call with the 5-year-old and her mom and her notebook. And we thought of ideas. Like she was thinking that she wanted to build a robot for her mom to free up her time so that her mom could play with her more. And this
Ah.
robot could do basic tasks. I'm like, you are already thinking forward. And then we thought about how we could raise, she learned at 5 that some of the people in her class didn't have enough money for lunch.
Hmm.
That's a big thing to understand at 5. So we thought about how we could use ideas to help. And I just had this 30-minute session with this 5-year-old, and I let like the energy I got from that call for the rest of my life, and it's coming up years later, right? This conversation that just keeps on giving was possible because I have a profile out there on the web that says, if you want to talk, I'm here.
Hmm.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Here's all I've done. If you find value in any of that, come on my door. Here's my terms.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. I didn't watch the whole interview. I saw the clip. I think 1 or 2 minute short clip that was.
yeah.
I was like, I gotta watch this. I just watched like a 30 minute ago. I was amazed. I was like, that's incredible. Where I was hanging out. That was
So
the first feeling I got. So
I,
glad we got connected.
That I love that you found that. And like what a powerful, like I take that concept. I'm like, what if all parents, what if there's Pick My Brain for kids and all the
Oh
people that
wow.
said, yeah, I'm open to talking to kids, and kids could just talk to anyone in the world about what they wanted, anything. Why can't
Right,
that exist? That'd be
right, right.
cool. Yeah.
Like we have YouTube for kids. You can
Yeah,
have
YouTube for
that.
kids, Pick My Brain for kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And along that lines, what do you think is that one thing that Pick My Brain did for your clients that you didn't expect?
Oh, made them all realize that they were multi-potentialites, that they have a lot to offer, but
Mm,
they all are still so scared that they don't have value. So even just believing that they can create a revenue stream based on what they already have, which is what you're doing as well, is so empowering.
mm,
And being able to launch that with ease, like Pick My Brain makes it easy to package, price, and sell that, handles the bookings, the payments, the invoicing. And that sometimes is a big barrier to entry, especially for like older generation or just
mm.
anyone outside of tech. The idea of integrating calendar, integrating payments, going live, like that's a lot of technical
Oh yeah.
stuff to take on. So Pick My Brain makes that so easy. So you could whip up an offer in 5 minutes and test it. And that
Mm.
is creative and fun. Yeah.
It is time saving at the same time. It's like a lot of people quit actually the entrepreneurship because like I can't do this. I can't integrate that, all that, or I cannot find a
Really
Stripe, PayPal, all that stuff. But
super
glad to know
stressful.
that
I
they are all, yeah, you're all have all in one place. Great.
Yeah.
What's the next thing that you are working for?
We are in the process of raising $3 million. Our goal is to raise
Wow.
that by the end of the year. We've just closed a few super angels, and we're gonna take that money, and our goal is to build 10 custom marketplaces for universities, associations, We've got some really cool marketplace builds that we're doing. Like we're building the world's first PhD marketplace for the world's PhDs to get online listed and out there. We're building one for this group of the 8,000 of the world's most influential women, and they want to gift executive coaching to young women. We love gifting dollars, so we're pursuing that project. So we're going to build 10 of those, and then we're going to launch this program called Meet the World's People, which is a subscription to have a conversation with someone in the world once a month. And hope to, roll that campaign out and imagine millions of people signing up to simply have a conversation with one person because they believe that would be cool. Change their life, change other people's lives, just have fun.
Right. That's what the entrepreneurship is. You first do it for yourself, and then you change the other people's life. That's all it is. I love that. I'm gonna also look more into that, and maybe I'll come to Vancouver or something. We'll love to have a coffee or something. Of course, we'll do this.
I've got a Ontario package on my Pick My Brain profile. You can come to Vancouver Island, but and that was the very first offer I offered that validated this was coffee and conversation with a startup founder. I charged $50 and I was like, I wonder if people will book this. And 60 people from around the world booked and paid me to go for coffee and conversation. And it definitely was not the $3,000 that made me pursue this all heartedly. It was, oh my God, what happened to those conversations and what those doors led me to, that I was like, this is bomb. This is amazing. This is going to be, everyone can do this. This is fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm excited for your ventures. Of course, congratulations and all the best for that. What's the one piece of advice that you want to share with our listeners today?
Everything starts with a conversation. Go have more conversations and you will find more things about yourself and others, and you will therefore, expand. It's just direct. You have 100 conversations, you will reach a new level. Challenge yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if people want to find more details about it, what's the link? Is it Pick My Brain? I know it if you want to say it. What exactly is it? They want to learn more about it.
Visit pickmybrain.world. And just click Meet the Brains and pick a brain. And once you're in our system, we'll also start to invite you to our events where we do these great global knowledge exchanges. They're really fun. If you just want to meet new people, learn new things, just sign up in some way and you'll be on our list. If you ever want to have a conversation, you can find my profile if you want. And I unlock 10 meet me's a month, and I absolutely I will for the rest of my life, because what comes in the door is remarkable. So if you ever want to have a conversation and what I said vibes, please come in, but please also feel free to browse the thousands of other people and just explore. That's my call.
That's so beautiful. I love that thing. Thank you so much, Maxine, for coming on the show, sharing this valuable info. It can change. I'm sure it's going to change someone's life. Even one person's life is changing after listening or watching this podcast. That will be our job done. So thank you so much once again for doing it. People who are watching us live again, thank you so much for listening or watching. We'll be coming up with another episode very soon. Till then, take care. Bye, everyone.